Hiya! Welcome! So what I've got here to unbox with you today is a mixed media bundle. There's two bundles, two separate ones technically, in the one package from the official New Order web store. This is my bundles for the Substance 1987 reissue campaign. Substance 87, of course, being New Order's original compilation album from, unsurprisingly, 1987, that many people, even people who aren't particularly fans of New Order, they consider it to be one of the best compilation albums in music history, and rightly so. You'll be unsurprised to know it's had a vinyl reissue, but there's some other things in here that we'll look at and talk about. It's come a little bit late, this. It was due out a few days ago. Mine was delayed a little bit for some reason, so I haven't got this video out quite as early as I would have liked, but it's still out not too long after the release date, or the re-release date. I think both separate bundles in here. There's an albums bundle and a singles bundle as well. They came out to something like £135 something, and I think that was including maybe £5 in postage. Just a little bit about the New Order reissue campaign before I get into this. Anyone who's been following my channel for the last few years will know about the New Order definitive editions, which are the box sets of their studio albums, the Factory Years albums at the very least, reissued with bonus CDs, DVDs, books, etc. I've got the first three of those: Movement, Power, Corruption and Lies, and Low Life. Conventional and chronological thinking would suggest that Brotherhood, the fourth studio album, would be next, but they've jumped ahead to reissue Substance 87. Now, it's not a box set, this, it's just a standard reissue on various formats, which you'll see shortly. It is a little bit unusual, and it's kind of like New Order to sort of steer away from conventional thinking, really. But I'm hoping that that doesn't mean that Brotherhood, the definitive edition reissue that I'm assuming would have come along after Low Life, that hasn't been cancelled. Maybe we'll get that next year or the year after, because I do like those definitive box sets. Anyway, I do already own Substance 1987 on two formats. I've got the original CD from Factory Records that would have come out in 1987. I do like these CD cases that used to be a lot more common back in the late 80s. I think they're called fat boxes. Just really chunky and just something satisfying about them, and you know, it just feels, even all these years later, just really good quality. So that's an original Factory Records double CD set there. And I've also got the album on a special edition Hessian boxed double cassette as well. The double cassette's nice because it's chrome cassette, which is generally slightly better sound quality, and you get extra tracks with it being cassette as well, but that's something else that we need to touch upon once I get today's package open. I'll just get this sort of insert out. Yeah, there's your two cassettes there. So I've never owned Substance 87 on vinyl. That was the sort of big ticket item for me here. So there's that, but there's other things to look at as well. Let's get this open. Not sure I need my knife, but we'll soon find out. There is a pull apart tab here. And yep, like pretty much all the other ones that I've encountered, it's one that just sort of disintegrates before you've actually managed to get the box, or the mailer in this case, open. Oh, that was easier than I thought. I made a bit of a meal of it. Take all these goodies out. That will be an invoice, presumably. Yeah, and return form. I don't think I'm going to want to return any of this stuff. Put those there. Right, I'll show you the singles bundle first. With the definitive edition box sets that have been coming out over the last 4 or 5 years, New Order have also been reissuing the relevant singles from that period. So anything that came out around the time of Movement got reissued on a 12-inch single. Same for Power, Corruption and Lies, same for Low Life. So singles that originally came out around the time of Substance 1987 have been reissued, but there's one that's missing that didn't get reissued for some reason, and I'm not sure why. There's a gap here, but I'll talk about that in a moment. So the first single is really the only single that actually came off Substance 87, and it's True Faith. I have got this single on CD video, which is kind of like a not forgotten but long obsolete format that's technically like a mini laser disc. But this will have on it True Faith and 1963, two tracks that are both on the Substance album. Very nice. It's all black vinyl, this, so I don't think I'm going to get any of the singles out of their shrink today. Also is a True Faith remix 12-inch, so this came out obviously at the same time or around the same time as the standard True Faith single, and it's nice that this has got a reissue as well. I think this is a 3-track single. It's got True Faith remix, True Dub, and it's got 1963 on it again, which I'm assuming will be a slightly different version from that one on the other True Faith 12-inch, but who knows. Lovely stuff there. Now this is where there's a gap. Now after True Faith in 1987 came Touched by the Hand of God, which wasn't on a New Order album, it wasn't on Substance, and it wasn't on any subsequent studio albums, but it was on the soundtrack album to the dark comedy, I think it was a comedy anyway, I've never seen it, the satirical film Salvation that came out, and there was a bit of an indie sort of cult hit, certainly in cinemas in America. I don't know why they've not reissued that, because that came out before the next and last single that I'm going to show you. Whether New Order here haven't reissued it because it's got absolutely nothing to do with Substance, whereas this next single at least has a vague connection to Substance, I don't know. But no Touched by the Hand of God, which is a shame because I do want the 12-inch of that, but I'm waiting for a reissue of it like I've got all the other reissued 12-inches so far. But there is Blue Monday 1988, so the original Blue Monday and relevant B-sides are on Substance. So perhaps they sort of skipped one and maybe Touched by the Hand of God, even though it's got nothing to do with Brotherhood either, it wasn't on that album. Hopefully, I'm hoping that might get reissued if and when the Brotherhood definitive box set comes out. So Blue Monday 88, pretty decent remix of Blue Monday, the 1983 massive 12-inch single, is side 1 Blue Monday 88 and side 2 Beach Buggy, which is like a Blue Monday dub kind of mix. So there we go. So that is the 3 reissued singles that come alongside the Substance albums bundle. So onto the album itself. Now I've got 3 new copies of Substance here, and I wasn't intending to get one of them. It'll probably be the one I show you first actually. It is an exclusive to the New Order web store, but I was trying to buy, when I was going through checkout, I was trying to get the 12-inch singles bundle, which I've just shown you, and then the album on vinyl, and then the album on CD, and I'll show you the CD soon as well. But it wasn't letting me check out for some reason. I had to go back and get this 3-album bundle, which has 3 different formats. So I've mentioned the vinyl and the CD, we'll look at those soon. And the exclusive is another cassette edition. Yeah, you can only get this from the New Order web store. I didn't want another cassette edition really, but I suppose it's kind of nice as a novelty almost. Still sealed in its shrink here, and it being the cassette as well, there would be all the tracks that are supposed to be the B-sides for the, you know, disc 1 or tape 1 of the New Order A-sides. Substance, of course, they had on the first disc all the A-sides from Ceremony all the way to True Faith, and then on the second disc, or tape in this case, they had all of the B-sides, except they weren't all, because there was mixes and other tracks that were missing, but it's easy to get bogged down in the minute detail. I will listen to this, I'll listen to all of this. I mean, you know, I'm a big New Order fan. I do have this album on tape, as I showed you, so I've got it on cassette twice, which is, I think, a first for me in all these years of music collecting, to get 2 different cassette versions of the same album. I've certainly got 2 different CD versions of most New Order stuff now. So that's the cassette there, which looks like it's in some sort of card sleeve, more of a novelty than anything. So on to the 2 items, the main 2 really for me, particularly the last one. but the two that I really wanted alongside the singles. And this is the CD edition. Now it's better theoretically than the original 2 CD set from 1987, this version, because there's 4 CDs in it. And the first 2 compact discs are kind of replicating, albeit they'll be remastered presumably, the original album on compact disc. And then the third CD expands Substance out with some of the missing B-sides that I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, missing remixes and other tracks. And the fourth disc on there is Substance live in concert. Now, it doesn't say what concert it is on the back of this. I believe it's one from America. It might be one that I've got on a bootleg CD actually. So it might be something I've already heard and already own. But I think that's nice that they've put a live disc in this to kind of just expand it out to be something a little bit more special. This has been reissued as a standard 2 CD set again. But I think most people, certainly most collectors, most New Order fans, are more interested in this 4 disc edition because of all the extras that are on it. So a very nice thing there. I definitely wanted that, even though, you know, it means I've now got this album 5 times really, and normally 1 or 2 copies of an album is good enough for me. So the main event really is, because I've never owned it on vinyl before, is of course the vinyl issue. So this is standard black vinyl. Now they have brought out a red and blue vinyl edition, and weirdly you can get that pretty much everywhere except the New Order store. I would have liked that, but it's fine getting the black vinyl really, because it was part of a bundle and I wanted it on vinyl because I've never owned the album on this format before. It's still the same tracks no matter what the colour of the records are when all is said and done. The original vinyl copies, or near original, of Substance can go for a lot of money on the aftermarket. I was looking at it for quite some time, up until fairly recently, and I just didn't want to warrant paying all the money that was being asked on the aftermarket for original vinyl pressings, or even sort of 1990s era vinyl pressings for Substance 87. So very happy that I'm able to have got this edition on vinyl here. It'll be 2 discs. I still think the cassette, ironically enough, has got the most tracks on it. You can get more on a cassette depending on the length of the tape, obviously. And then this CD, obviously the first 2 CDs are kind of, you know, standard, but then you get your extra stuff on the new expanded 3rd and 4th discs on here. This is the main one for me, just because it was the only format Substance was out on I've not owned, apart from DAT, which is digital audio tape. I believe Substance did come out on DAT. Yeah, you don't want to know the price of that on the aftermarket. So there we go. So quick recap of everything. You've seen black vinyl before, so I don't think I'm going to get this open now. If it was the red and blue edition, I probably would have opened this and given you a quick butchers. The 2 LP Substance 87, the 4 CD Substance, the 2 cassette New Order store exclusive Substance, and the related 12-inch singles True Faith Remix and Blue Monday 1988. Really happy that I've got these a few days late, but can't really complain. They've got here now, that's the main thing. Now I've got 5 different editions of Substance in my collection, 2 originals from 87 and now 3 from 2023. As I say, I hope that they get back to the definitive edition box sets. Brotherhood, that and Technique are the 2 final Factory Records albums, or studio albums, that will be missing from that particular series. So as a massive New Order fan and someone who likes to collect everything that comes out near enough of theirs, then I'm keeping my fingers crossed that Brotherhood and then Technique at some point afterwards do get that, and I can have a complete definitive edition series. But thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this look at all this New Order goodness, my very favourite band. I think they've kind of been a little bit weird about the way this has been released, sort of jumping ahead of Brotherhood and then missing out Touched by the Hand of God, and also the unavailability of the red and blue vinyl. It's odd, but I kind of expect it with New Order. Nothing's ever straightforward with them, really. I want to say special thanks to my loyal and amazing subscribers, and of course special thanks to my wonderful, gorgeous patrons. Please see my usual links, including a Patreon link, Facebook group link, and one for Urban Jungle Contents Insurance, all down in the description text box. I'm going to go now. I've got Substance to listen to 3 times, but there's different bits. This one will be probably the quick listen, really, as it's a replica of the original 2 LP set. This one, few more tracks on it, and this one, even more tracks on it. And of course the singles, given that there's like 2 or 3 tracks on each of these, they're not going to take long to get listened to. So I'm going to go ahead and get all that done from now, or soon, and I do hope that all of you will join me again next time for my next music collecting and unboxing video. Cheers everyone. See ya!